right, man. What's happening, y'all? L.A.R. movement still moving. I said I was gonna go live this week, and I didn't know how to do it on the computer, so I'm doing it on my phone. I'm trying to figure this stuff out as I'm going. No, nobody's here, but the book is entitled "Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father" at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below as usual. This one's gonna be entitled 10 Traps in Child Custody. So just bear with me. The first trap that people have in child custody, I'm doing this because of the Tyrese. What's happening, Dice King? Can you hear me? Before I go further, can you hear me good? What's going on, cats? Let me know if you can hear me. Just press 1 if you can hear me well. Cool. Okay. So, like I said, 10 traps in child custody. Because for the Tyrese thing, a younger brother hit me up. Yeah, I know. And I'm going to put this out there. I put some of this in the book already. So the first trap that people set in these child custody scenarios is fear. And, you know, for some of y'all may get that, y'all may not. What I mean by that is this. The relationship that the mother and child has is going to be adversarial to the father, right? So you have to instill the fear that dad's evil, dad's mean, dad's bad. So a kid is not going to, is very protective. I feel you, bro. You know, a kid is very, very protective of their mother. Or tell a person, I'm the good guy and they're the bad guy, they're going to ride with you. So because of that, a child is going to be very disrespectful. And when they're disrespectful like that, they don't see the idea that, you know, you can't be disrespectful not only to your parent, but just adults in general. So when that child gets disciplined, because they're being disrespectful, it blows up and it's something worse than what people think it is, because now you rectified that. What's happening, Simply Deep? When you rectify that, because now, I mean, not rectify, you reinforce it. And now, okay, you're mean, you're evil, just like they told me. So the minute, you know, if there's a person that has to talk, like a psychologist that comes through, you know, the kid can justify their experiences. I was with my dad, and my dad told me to sit down and be quiet, but the kid won't recognize you don't talk crazy to your parents, right? Or at least that particular parent. So that's a trap that guys get caught in. And you fellas, you got to recognize it sometimes. And I think a sense of humor will help more than anything. Because you could laugh at a kid who's just being angry for no reason. You're like, really, this is what we doing? This is what we doing today? But it doesn't change anything, but these are the traps. You know, the second trap is the abuse trap. Now, because of the fear, you know, you can't discipline your child, because if you spank your child for being out of line, you're abusive. You know, been down this road, done this before, right? You know, the kid does something that deserves a spanking or punishment. Lord have mercy. Oh, they killed me. Like, okay, B. I remember, you know, my son would go out in public, and her dad did this. And I remember there was another time he was whining to his mother about that. Like, you know, hey, guess what? My dad made me do stuff like go to sleep early and read books. I can't take that. I'm like, all right, B. And because of the abuse thing, I hate to say this, but when a mother yells abuse, everybody falls in line. So guys fall into this trap because now you can't talk to your kid. You can't check your kid. You can't spank your kid. You can't tell your kid what to do and what not to do, because at first they're scared of you, then they're out of line. Then when you discipline them, then you're abusive. So it's a trap. It's always set in a certain way, you know. Now, the other trap that guys get caught in is getting the sexual abuse trap. This is how people get the cops called on you. The cops get called on you for, yeah, exactly. They'll call you crazy. And the cops get called on you for this one, too. But the sexual abuse thing is more so with daughters than sons. I will say that as a father, it's more so with daughters than sons. I've seen this a few times. So dad's a bad guy. The dad What did dad do? Did dad touch? Did you take a bath? Did dad touch you? Did dad, when dad was dad in the bathroom with you? Did he bathe you? Did he put his hands on you? Did he blah, blah, blah? And then that turns into, dad is a pedophile. So you can immediately take that allegation to court just like you can abuse, right? And the first thing they're going to do is separate that parent and that child. Just precautionary. It's just a precautionary thing. So it builds a issue. It builds things up and you're like, oh God, now I'm going through it. Because the allegation is all you need in court, to be perfectly honest. You don't need proof. You just need the allegation. And I'm going to explain this to you like this, fellas. The allegations usually come in good times. What's up, Donnell? The allegations usually come in good times. Like if you go into court in December, them allegations going to be in October, November. And it falls in succession, right? So that's all they need in the court to say, oh, you did that? No, I didn't do that. But, this was hanging over my head in this process. So that's another trap that people fall into with these child custody things. The other trap that guys fall into is outside help. And what I mean by outside help is people may have a family member or some friends in law enforcement. And they may give you a hard time. They might arrest you. You could use that as court. You see this, he's a troublemaker, he gets in this, and you don't realize what the hell going on. Or a friend of a friend. Or you got somebody, or they have somebody who's not in law enforcement or in the streets. And they mess with you. They fight with you. They tell you that you go somewhere just having a good time, and then all of a sudden, if people know where you're at, hey Shelly, if people know where you at, what's going to wind up happening is they're going to go to the spots that you go to and mess with you. Just in case, just a favor for a friend or a favor for family. And sometimes if you know these people, it's coming. You're like, oh, Lord, here comes such and such. I know there's going to be trouble. But it's a setup. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to fall for that trap because that makes you a hothead. You get into a fight because somebody starts a fight, that makes you a hothead. Even when it's self-defense. Peace, Excalibur. It makes you a hothead, and then all of a sudden that's a defense thing. One of the next problems, the traps people fall for, I got to chill out, I got to slow down. One of the next traps people fall for is this. The trap of the job problems. Because somebody can get you fired from your job. Donnell, man, thanks. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even doing it for the super chat, but I really appreciate it. One of the next things people do is they mess with your jobs. Now, higher up jobs get it better than, the low wage jobs. Because if you work in, say, minimum wage to living wage, people don't want them kind of problems on their premises. So you're going to get fired. So somebody will mess with you and mess with you and mess with you and mess with you and then mess with your job and pop up to your job and cause drama after drama after drama. And then you're going to get fired. I got you. I'll hit you up. We'll talk later, Tyson. And they'll get you fired. And once you're fired, now you can be looked at as erratic and inconsistent. Now, the job problem thing, sometimes that may take a little longer than other people. You can't just pop up because a person has to have a history of being unemployable or out of work. So you mess with it. Now, the flip side of that is you get a better job, you might wind up in a situation where the job winds up pressing charges against the person who causes you problems because now it's looked at as, hey, wait. This person is a detriment to our business. Because even with higher up jobs, there were bosses and supervisors and people who've been through this and who has family members going through this. So they may have connections and they may not take that. They may actually go at, the party who's starting all the drama. But you have to be aware that this is a trap that people fall for. So sometimes, people know where you work, that they know where you work, but you might have to have a couple of hustles if you're working from minimum wage to living wage. So we go on to number 6, the new spouse trap. Now, this goes both ways. The new spouse trap that'll get you in it if, say, she's got a new boyfriend. She's got a new boyfriend. What's going on? She's got a new boyfriend. Her boyfriend is trying to impress his new lady. So he might be playing dad. Yeah, right, cats. He might be playing dad. I'm going to get to that one in a second, too. He might be playing dad to the child. He might be even bond with the child. But then there's a point where he never talks to the father because maybe he wasn't let talk to the father, or maybe he just didn't want to. He drank the Kool-Aid and believed all the hype. I see you, mister. And what happens is this. Now he gets a little arrogant and he thinks he's actually dad. No, you stepdaddy, you side daddy, you daddy off the bench, you six-man daddy. And that guy will start overstepping his bounds with your kid. So now you're in a situation where, oh, I got to check this dude, because you'll never find out when you're supposed to find out. I'm going to be honest with you. You're never going to find out when something happens. You're going to find out way after the fact. Now, the reason this happens is because he feels like he's being with her, maybe going to marry her, all of that good stuff. And he wants to take over the fatherly role. And to do that, they feel like both parties may feel like they got to X dad out. So because of their shenanigans, that's instant beef. Because that's a conversation that can be had with 3 adults and be really squashed very easily. But because of the disrespect of I'm going to do what I want like this is my child when it ain't your child, you're going to have an issue. And that issue can cause all kinds of other issues that will make you be looked at as a hothead. So you got to watch it. You really got to watch it. Because if you don't, you're going to be looked at in numerous ways of being a nutcase. Now the other one, like I said, the new spouse trap. You get a new girlfriend or somebody that may be going to a fiance or wife. It's like Belly when he was eating that banana. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You might be a little too happy. So, you're going to have that problem where the first thing they're going to do is they're going to use the child as a spy. You might not even be seeing your kid on a regular basis. Man, thanks, mister. I appreciate it. You might not even be seeing your kid on a regular basis. But once you got a girl, you're going to see your kid for a little bit. And you know why? Because the kid is in there spying. The kid in there like James Bond, 00 kid. And they spying. They want to see, this how daddy living. Daddy got a girlfriend. This how the girlfriend look. Let's see if the girlfriend got kids or not. Yeah. She's kind of pretty. Now, I'm going to tell you personally, I had this issue. My son just, he was on the telephone and his mother says, so is his girlfriend pretty? He says, yeah. Well, his girlfriend's not prettier than me. He's like, yeah, she is. Everything went left. Everything just blew up right then and there. So that's a problem. Because at that point, now, if you're trying to be an adult and have the conversation with 3 adults, she might just be looking at a way to be friends so she can try to turn your girl to look at you sideways and hopefully break y'all up. And most girls see through that because women know women, But if she can bring you drama or bring your relationship drama, girl, you need to look out for this because he did this to me, he did this to me. You know what I'm saying? He hit me upside the head with a backhand of a super soaker in 1999. Girl, you better watch him with them toy guns. Like that type of stuff. Like you can't go out and have fun and stuff like that. Crazy. But because of that situation, if it's a healthy relationship, now you can't see your kid. Because you don't want that kid to be in a healthy environment. What's going on, Annie? You don't want the kid to be in a healthy environment. It looks better than your environment. It feels better than your environment. They're happy. At that particular point, the kid might be playing both sides of the fence. But because of that, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to chill. If I can't break them up, I'm going to wait till they get married. I'm going to do marriage first. Because if they get married, I'm going to court and I'm filing for this increase because I'm using both their incomes. Now, that creates a marriage problem. Then seen that happen numerous times. Because if you mess with the money, you mess with the marriage. And now I'm paying your child support because you got this crazy chick, and now the guy's got to work out a way to pay all of the child support if the woman feels that's unfair, which it is, because of this situation. Or on the other end, it's like, we done because I don't need this in my life. You supposed to be, as the man, you're supposed to be upgrading me. I'm not supposed to be carrying your baggage because you're supposed to be the leader of the relationship. So guess what? Guess who's the problem now? You can't lead while your wife is paying your child support with you, right? So hopefully y'all break up, you get divorced, you go broke, your child's mother is home. Yeah, I got her. They like that, right? So that's why some guys don't tell they exes that they have girlfriends and they won't get married or because they want the girlfriend to be happy first. Get a man, get a fiance. Hopefully you get married, then you can get out of my business so we don't have this issue. That happens. The other part about that spite, exactly, no drama. The other part about that the new spouse thing is if they have a kid, you and a new person have a kid, which i.e. might be Tyrese's issue because I think his wife. Man, what's up, Epics? She have a kid. Now, it's not just the kid is replaceable for his child support. That ain't what it's about. Now, they got a family. She living my life. This bitch got to go. I'm not going to let another woman enjoy all the spoils or what I was supposed to have when my relationship went sour with this guy. Whole nother problem. Now, flip side of that, dang, yeah, Shelly, it's about to go down then. It's about to go down. Flip side of that is, if she gets pregnant by another guy, you're not necessarily going to care. She likes the guy, guess what's going to happen? She's going to say, we're moving on without you, Oh, we can go. So now you got another court issue. Because you're like, look, man, I ain't got time for this nonsense that you playing with. So now you got a beef because y'all going at it and they were trying to replace you. And sometimes for the kid's sake, and some of y'all may or may not know this, sometimes they replace the kid while the kid's in the house. Jump Pile, what's up, baby? They replace the kid while the kid's in the house. Mom got a new baby with a new guy or new dad. They love that kid. And your kid get treated like crap. But guess what? It's that loving bond between mama. So kid just can't let that go. And whose fault are they going to blame? Who's to blame? Daddy. Daddy's to blame for that. So now you got an issue. And because of this issue, it's going to create other issues. That other issue is your child's going to hate your guts now every day. Because it's your fault that my mama got a new man and a new husband and she had a new baby and now they don't love me no more. They love this baby. Yeah, who fault is that? Daddy. Because if you would have married my mama, we wouldn't have been here. So if your kid gets a certain age and they go to court, I don't want to be around my daddy because it's my daddy's fault that I'm getting treated like crap. This happens, right? Now, 7 is part of this, is the increase. If you grow in life, guess what happens? Your money grows in life. Guess what happens? They knocking at that court. I heard he making something kind of money and I need something extra off the top. Remember when 50 Cent had that thing? He hit the vitamin water lick and then his son's mother, I need to get some of that $400 million. I just can't take this get rich or die trying money. Oh, that's going to pay me. I need 15% of $400 million just because we had a baby. It don't work like that because when you hit a certain number in particular states, it maxes out. Georgia maxes out. I think New York at a certain point maxes out. Some people do it by the income differential, and some people say after like $80,000, a child doesn't need $3,000 a month. Barcelini, man, appreciate you. You're right. Need that 15%. So if you get a new job, guess what? They're gonna hit you up. The only way that you can stop the increase thing, if you work a job that has overtime, they can't really take your overtime because it's really, you may get it, you may not. But whatever your hourly wage is and whatever that salary is for the year, they got that. So that's one of the loopholes in that. Because, and some guys, this is where y'all mess up. Don't live off your overtime. Oh, I'm in Texas. I know, pimp. Yeah, don't mess up your, don't live off your overtime. Because if you live off your overtime, it's going to force you to live a higher and higher means. Then you might have to get another job. And then they're going to catch the taxes from that other job. And they're going to get an increase on that. And blah, blah, blah. Exactly, Dice. Epics, I feel that. And this is the problem. Good. Exactly. There, overtime could be for savings. Invest and do something with it. Now, once they keep getting these increases every 3 years, increase. Or they're going to keep going. Keep checking. Increase. Going to drive you crazy. But the same thing goes, say you buy a new vehicle. Guess what? Your daddy got a new car. I ain't got a new car. I need a new car. We got to get an increase. Because I don't know how he paying for that car. He must got more money. Problem. You got the iPhone X. If somebody really just ratchet, how you gonna get an iPhone X and I ain't got an iPhone X? Daryl, I feel you. I got it when I got my house. I had the same issue. So they go for the increase. Now you're in court, and I'm gonna tell you, word to the wise, fellas. If you got to go to court because of an increase, one thing you don't do. If you got a nice car, don't go to court in your nice car. Don't do it, because what's gonna happen is if you got like a Corvette, a Mercedes, a BMW, I don't even care if it's 3 Series. They're gonna take a picture of you when you at the court one of the days coming or driving off, and they say, "See, his mother got more money than that. He lying." I'm telling you, and judges just might. Let me tell you something. I don't have a Benz. Huh, you got a Benz? You trying to stunt? Let me see. Those. Oh, I see. Is that a Gucci belt? Oh yeah, you got money, sir. You boy, we're gonna hit you up. Don't just go in regular clothes, regular car. You better rent a car. You better rent a Chevy Cruze and cruise back home. You know what I'm saying? But because they will do that. Seen it happen numerous times. These are traps. Sometimes they want to get you to court just to see how you living at the court, or just how you taking care of yourself. Because if you eating good, he got money because he eating good. If you in shape, this and that and this and that. Yeah, you're right. You can take the bus to court. I wouldn't trip on that either. Ride the jalopy, I'm not mad at it. That's why for some of you guys, in time, you can get a work car and not a luxury car, but just a play car. If you get to that situation, take your work car to court. Number 8. Very important, is abandonment. This is for the guys. This happens when it comes to a custodial parent, they'll get up and move at the drop of a hat. The drop of a hat. You won't know. So now, because you don't know where they moved to, they could change their numbers like they did in the past. Change their address. You got to figure it out. You got to find them. You got to chase them down. That's why the internet is a beautiful thing now, because it doesn't take that much to find people as it used to. Back in the day, you was just screwed. You can be your own private investigator for like $30 on the internet. Now, the thing about it is, they'll move and they'll tell your child that you abandoned them. And this happens sometimes before court proceedings. So the child ain't talk to you because guess what? Now, I feel you. I appreciate that. Now they're like, you see, your daddy don't call you. Your daddy don't come by. Your daddy don't text. Your daddy don't write. Your daddy ain't sent a pigeon, or nothing. That's where the internet comes in. Let's FaceTime. Let's get on Google Hangouts. Let's do the Skype and all that. But the problem with that is, a mother in that particular scenario, she's gonna cut all that off. Kid can have a tablet, can't talk to you on the tablet, can't talk to you on Skype, can't talk to you on Google Hangouts. Can't talk to you on FaceTime. Not finna happen. You know, she's gonna force it, so you gotta call. And when you call, you're not calling the kid's tablet, you calling her phone. So guess what? Denied. Daddy ain't calling you. He's abandoning you. Now, one thing I did in that particular scenario, when it came to the phone calls, this was before, you know, you can keep records. I kept all my year's phone records for all the time, every day that I called, and it was all 1-minute calls for 365 days. So in court, that could be used against a person. But now you got your call log on your phone. You can see that people didn't answer. You got the call log on Skype. You got the call log on Hangouts. So eventually you keep all that information for the kid. But in court, that's the trap. Because the kid's going to think you abandon them because that's what they're going to put in their head. Daddy ain't around. Daddy don't care. So guess what? If they're young, now they got beef with you. They think you abandoned them. So if they talk to a counselor, a court-appointed psychologist, the kid's already gonna be against you because my daddy don't care, and he showed me by not calling or come and see me. He might not know where you at the time. He calls, no answer, but it's abandonment. It messes with the kid, so the kid makes you look bad to the court before you even get there. Appreciate it, Junk Pal. I've been there. That's why I wrote a lot of this. I wrote in the book already. After the abandonment would be number 9, stalking. Because guess what? If they stop answering the phone, now you got to go. When you find where they at, now you got to go by. You got to go say hello. Make sure your kid knows you. But guess what? Now you stalking. Because if you go, because you haven't been able to have contact with your kid, you know, now they can put out a restraining order against you because you're not supposed to show up at somebody's house unannounced. That's the same thing about the schools, why people couldn't go to schools. You know, they couldn't go to the school because of this stuff. You know, you can't go to school because if dad pops up, mom might not have put dad on the list. Now, that's the good thing about technology now, where you can actually email the school and find the records and the teachers that way. So you can have a presence with the school online without having to go to the school. And, you know, then you can build a rapport with teachers, counselors, all that other stuff, right? But if you go looking for your kid, they're going to say you're a stalker. Because, like I said before, if you go back, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up, Nico. Because if I went back early, I said fear. Because they put the fear into the kid. The kid's scared of the parent when the parent shows up. The kids are all nervous. They at my school. I don't know what they're going to do. Daddy might kidnap me. Blah, blah, blah. This is why the schools had this lockdown type of thing now. It's what daycares are the same way. You know? So you can't do that. And if you do that, especially, and when I get to number 10, I'm going to put all this together for you. So once you do that, now you're a stalker. Now they need a restraining order. Now you need to have supervised visitation because something wrong with you. You don't just, how you supposed to just pop up on your child and act like that's your child? You know, that type of thing, right? Because you can't see your child. Hey, you know it's all good, cats. Number 10, and this is one that y'all don't realize sometimes, health issues. Health issues is a trap because say your kid has a health issue, because sometimes when two parents don't speak, you have two different sides of the family and two different types of DNA and two different types of hereditary diseases or just quirks in the body. So they may know what's on their side, but they don't know what's on your side. And vice versa. So even if you're in a situation where you're paying child support and you're paying medical bills, you got to read through all these medical bills. Now you're like, why are they taking this kid here, there? Why is this medication? Why is this medication? Because I've been there plenty of times where I've had to call doctors' offices and say, yo, why are you giving my child this medication, and what is the issue this time? You know, and health issues, because of stress, sometimes kids act funny, just like adults. And that's the stress of the whole child custody thing affects the kid to the point that the kid's going to go to the doctor sometimes. And then that's when they're going to need a counselor. And when they need a counselor, they can prescribe the medication. And when they can prescribe the medication, your kid's body goes all out of whack. Or act out, exactly. So now they all out of whack. Now the kid you might have saw in the summertime ain't the same kid you see Thanksgiving, Christmas. You trying to, and not just mentally, like physically off. You know, or they drop the kid off to you and the kid just kind of sick and you don't know what's up. And you're like, I don't get it. This is where it comes to bite you in the butt. Because they're going to say the kid was perfectly fine when they dropped them off to you or when you got them. When they get back to the other parent, they're going to take them to the doctor. Right, and you have no say-so on what they get a kid to. They're going to take them to the doctor and say, something wrong with my baby because he was at his daddy. I don't know, the daddy might have tried to poison him, blah, 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 blah. I don't trust him because of this or that. And, or they took them off of their medication and now they're acting weird. They could be acting normal because you took them off of medication because you feel like they was acting funny. But no, you got to get them back on their medication. So now, or you eat differently. You know, my son used to have a problem getting constipated. Yep, exactly. You eat differently, and my son had a problem getting constipated because they ate too much soul food and fast food and cheese all the time. So guess what? Locked up his intestines and his bowels, right? I don't eat like that. So when I send my son to his mother, he's like flushed out and he's like healthy because I eat healthy. So when they start eating that soul food, junk food, and fast food again, he would get sick. His stomach would get messed up. And guess whose fault? Oh, no. He doing something to that child. No. But since their bodies get acclimated to two different health lifestyles, and you're going to always be on the back end of that lifestyle. Now, oh man, that Prozac crazy. I would never. Now, earlier, brother pointed out that you have no say-so over what they get as kids. I've called numerous doctors and said, I don't want my child on that. You know what the doctor was like? Just like a kid. You ain't that kid, mom. We're going to keep prescribing them this cocaine. And guess what? We're going to give them some heroin and some fentanyl with it. Because we getting paid off of your baby mama drama. You know? Oh, man, I gave up a lot of foods. So now it's another trap because you get in the court. Now they could use that kid's health against you. Now this is where you got to put it all together. When you are in a situation similar to Tyrese's situation, I didn't like people making fun of them, crying and all that, but they attack your emotions. See, men are not supposed to have emotions, right? So the minute you cry, something wrong with you. Yeah, I feel the taking picture stuff. You do got, in all scenarios, you got to cover your butt. So, in the beginning, you mess with the emotions. Get dad mad. Get dad angry. Get dad upset. Turn dad into a disciplinarian. Good cop, bad cop. Dad got to be bad cop because, you know, good cop is mom. So, dad got to rectify all the nonsense because they sent him over there with the nonsense. I remember when my son was younger, he was in a daycare because he lived with me at the time. The owner of the daycare sat me down and told me he's going to act up a lot. I was like, why? He sat down and he told us, because sometimes these children are more comfortable talking to women than men because they were raised with their mothers. He said, my mother told me when I come here, I ain't got to listen to nobody unless she tell me to. Now, my son's living with me, but acting out mom's script. I ain't got to do nothing nobody say until my mama tell me I got to do it. So, create the problem. So now the emotion part comes in there. You pissed because you got to correct a child's behavior that shouldn't need correcting because they're out of line. They don't know that. So you disciplining the child. Problem number one. Problem number two is if you're in a position where you how can I say this? If you're in a position where you crying, now they think that they broke you. You're weak. That's why people make fun of Tyrese, because he looks weak on camera because he's crying. Most fathers who go through this stuff have moments where they break down. But you as a man are not supposed to let the public know you had a breakdown. Because if you do, now anything you do is erratic now. You know, because you still be working through your emotions. Everything you do is erratic now. If you threw a bill at a sports bar, I told you, crazy. He's been acting erratic. Same thing with it moves on to, physical abuse, sexual abuse. Because once they get your mind, now they can hit you from all angles. Now they can send people into your life to bother you. Because once you let somebody know they got under your skin, now I'm going to call my friends to go mess with you. Now I'm going to get my police friend to mess with you. Now I'm going to tell my boyfriend he'll beat your ass if you come by. So now, before you make any moves, you got to center yourself, check yourself, and calm down. Big Swole? Yeah, I might lump Big Swole up, though. I'm a little dude, but I got the, But this is what is going to happen. Because, and I'm sorry, if you keep a level head through this whole process, yeah, probably a little bit. If you keep a level head through this process, one thing they will do to you, they keep pushing back the court date. They're going to keep pushing it back. If you keeping your calm, you cool, you collected, they're going to, you doing court in January, you go January, it's pushed to April. You're like, what? You stay cool through in April, it's pushed to June. You stay cool in June, okay, this is some bull now. It's pushed to August. And then, guess what? You start getting aggravated. And I've been in a situation where, I've been there. I fell for the trap because you got to record every conversation. And sometimes, the courts got hip to the game to the point where there's a court app now that courts use to listen to the conversations. So they can listen to how the child's talking to you and how they've been groomed to talk to you. And these are documented things now. So if you call and there's no answer, the court knows. You call and there's your kids talking crazy to you, the court knows. Because previously, what was happening, you ain't got to say nothing. You ain't got to say, tell your daddy, shut up. Tell your daddy you slap him in his mouth. Tell your daddy, blah, blah, blah. And then you say, kid, who the hell are you talking to? Hit the record button. He about to go off. So don't fall for this stuff. Don't fall for it. Everything is a trap. And it comes at various times. If you're going through a custody battle, you're going to go through this while you're going through the custody battle. You get a new girlfriend, you're going to go through this with that. They get a new boyfriend, you're going to go through this at that particular time. When a kid turns 12 or 14, depending on which state, you're going to go through it again. You're going to go through it again because now they're going to want the kid to make a decision, because between 12 and 14, depending on which state, guess what? That's when a kid makes the decision of who they want to live with. So in that era, now you got to ratchet up the animosity again. I mean, there's a way to win. The way to win is to not play the game. Sometimes you have to just live your life, be you, be a happy individual. And at some point, your kid's going to look at it like, this don't make sense. And the crazy part about it, when you just stop playing the game or when you recognize the game and don't participate in it, there comes a point, even if your child is used against you, your child's going to be a nuisance to the people around you in the places that you take them. So even with my own child I would take him to the same places. And he had such a bad reputation at a certain point that the people there started telling him, look, if you do something, we're throwing you out. Him, just straight up him. To the point where 3 years went by, and he was like, I'm acting that bad? They remember me acting a fool. I said, and I would tell them, I said, yo, I told you that your reputation will precede you or follow you if you act up. You're not just acting bad because mama told you to act bad and you protecting the family. You acting bad and it's giving you a bad reputation. I don't got to discipline you. I ain't got to whip you no more. I can let you go out in public and kids don't play with you no more. The people at the place we go to don't want to be bothered with you. People going to say, look, he don't need to be here. They'll be short fused with you and tell you, and then he got it like, oh, this is too much. So I'm about to get out of here, but I wanted to put out these 10 things, and in some ways how these things work out. So, yeah, he didn't get $5 million for crime. He probably got $5 million if he did for the lawyers and everything. Because I will say this. Lawyers going to fleece you, and that angers you more. I have to preface that. When you're going through a custody case, fathers especially, mothers can actually take you to court, file a bunch of junctions and motions against you that you have to pay your lawyer to prove, and also collect child support from you at the same point. Just hit me up on Hangouts, man, on Tyson. Just send me your thing on Hangouts, and we'll talk later. And what's going to wind up happening is now you're paying your lawyer to fight your case. Lawyer going to overcharge you. Lawyer going to milk you. At the same time, your child's mother, if possible, be able to have you pay her lawyer fees. Because if she sets you up good enough and she says she's going to court because you acting up, guess what? You can be liable for, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you. So now you paying child support, you're paying court fees, you're paying lawyers, they milking you, and you might be on the hook to pay their stuff too. So the animosity just keeps building and building and building. And you're going to act just as much as a ratty. Just like anybody who say, calm down if you catch a charge. Some of y'all never been arrested. I know people who are police officers who had baby mama drama, who got thrown in the system in their uniform right off of work or at work and got dragged to court, and the court to say, oh, no big deal, go home. No matter how you slice it, once you get locked up behind stuff like this or get put in jail or have these allegations put on you, they over your head forever. Forever. So when these women in court, now you have to consciously fight to not be the angry black man. And if you come in there too peaceful, he doesn't care about the kid. Then the judge gonna hate you because of that. So you gotta always be even, keel, and sharp. So they gonna and unfortunately, at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with raising your kid. Nothing. But the one thing I'll say, even with the Tyree situation that he did that was good, he broke down on camera on social media as a celebrity. His daughter saw that. Everybody else, his daughter saw daddy cry. His daughter saw daddy break down. His daughter saw daddy hurt. And, there's mama's boys and there's daddy's girls. That little girl is going to have such a beef with her mama from this point on. It's going to be ridiculous. So, wait a second. Well, I'll talk about that, cats. That's the other thing about, even I wrote in the book. Okay, email me, and when you email me, I'll hit you after this. The bar is so high for a father to be fit and so low for a mother to be fit. So there's, even women who, okay, Shelly, even if women, and this is the only way most guys can win. This is one way that most guys can win. And this is why it's very hard. Abuse. But the problem with that is it has to be tied to that woman's boyfriend, spouse, fiance, or husband. And you have to prove it. But that's the problem with your child being in that house predominantly, because they're going to tell the child to not say that the child's being abused if the child's being abused, to protect them from you per se. So same as my screen name, same thing, Tyson. So they're gonna do that. So now if you prove this abuse on that end, you can get the kid. Problem with that is, even if they find it as abuse, they just may give you a temporary order. Just temporary. Till she gets it together. See, anything you can do, you can be banned for life. Supervised visitation, all that, they can make all of that live in hell. But at some point, they could ban you, basically, from your kid. Mothers, they don't get banned. You know, mothers don't get banned from their kids unless they're in jail. You know, even adoptive, even if you throw their kid up for adoption, you still see the kid. You know, even if you abandon the kid and you want the kid back, they'll still give you a chance. You know, mothers are looked at like Josh Gordon in the NFL. And since it's Sunday, y'all know who Josh Gordon is. Multiple offenses, but keeps getting reinstated. But on the flip side, fathers are looked at like Colin Kaepernick. You kneel down one time, you make one person uncomfortable, you over. So this is why you have to be cognizant of the traps. Be very, very cognizant of the traps. And to the point where if something happens, don't act immediately. Don't sit down, wait, think it out. You know, so when you have to go about it, you call the police, you can bring your camera phone, you can record the conversations. Think your plan out before you even interact with these people. Because however it goes, even if they have to think like, wait, what's going on in their life that they can take me to court for? Because they don't want to know who the better parent is, Young Pal. You know how I know? Because every state has a documented list of things that they look out for. So it can be from 17 to 30 things, maybe. The number eludes me, but it could be a list of things. They could check you off as the better parent in the majority of those things and grant custody to the mother because of the idea that mothers are supposed to be the better parent. And in some degree, it's also chivalry, because if a woman loses her child, society looks at her like she's worthless. But in that whole scenario, there's one major problem. I even know of situations where men have custody of their kids and judges don't force the mothers to pay child support. They're not going to lose their jobs. They're not gonna be taken to jail, you know. So what then? Because, you know, people have their ideologies. You know, people forget. Just like earlier when I was talking about the oh man, you know that one, don't you? When I was saying the outside help. Some of y'all should remember that case with that the judge who was screwing the baby mama and then ruling in her favor. The same thing happens with other people. Like this is how things go down. Like, you know, women have, and I learned that sometimes if you're a man and you get a female lawyer, she can see through the BS as a female, but as a female, she might still be in the you know, us women got to stick together, so she'll give their mother the benefit of the doubt still, even if it's your lawyer. With men, depends, you know, because some men may be mama's boys at heart, and it's just like, I can't believe this. Same thing with the courts. See, with the courts, you got to prove it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But the problem with proving it over and over again is it costs you money, and no matter what you do, they're not going to give up. They're not going to give custody to you. You know, yeah, what's happening, man? I can tell you this. There was a point I was about to win custody of my son. The judge ruled in my son's mother's favor with stipulations. My son's mother broke every stipulation. I filed to go back to court. What they filed for was a petition for a new judge because they didn't want a biased opinion. So they got rid of the very judge that ruled in their favor because they didn't want to go back to that judge because that judge was not going to rule in their favor this time. So that leads to you having to appeal to a new judge. And the problem with that is new judges won't hold up, won't X out an old judge's ruling. It's not like, it's just like job decorum per se, because you still got to mess with that judge. They're like, I'm not going to rule against them. That's why appeals courts, see how appeals courts go all the way up? Because they're not going to do it on most cases. What's up, Angel, man? That's all right. That's all right. I'm almost out of here. So at the end of the day, that's a problem. It becomes a big problem. And that's with the moving and the maneuvering, because you don't know the system like that. And some of you guys got to understand, ladies talk to other women and other men. And they may know people who work in the court. So guess what? They know who to find the favorable judges. They know how to find the favorable lawyers. They know to find, the man-hater lawyer that's going to throw you through hell. They know how to find, they know how, if their lawyer knows your lawyer and they friends, and they can play that relationship, because women talk more than men do. We like, I just want to see my kid, man. I don't know what the hell going on. So y'all got to know that there's a plethora of traps in the way. I'm just adding these traps on so you understand. Like, it's more detailed than some people think. Now what winds up happening, and I say this a million times, and I promise now I'm gonna get off here. The family court is very close to the criminal court. In family court, you're gonna hear all the reasons why that father doesn't need to be in that child's life. You're going to hear, I'm the mother and the father. You're going to hear they're angry, they're crazy, they work for Al-Qaeda, they work for ISIS, they're a drug dealer, they shot Teddy Ruxpin in '88, and in hopes that they get enough room to figure out ways to X you out outside of the court. And then turn right around 15, 16, 17, 18 years later and are in that criminal court saying, my child's acting like this because they didn't have a father in their lives. And they'll be in those courtrooms crying to the criminal judge because it's your fault. And they've even been scenarios. Like, one of my exes is a lawyer, and I used to put her up on this. And I used to tell her, I said, listen, you might be with a client one day, and they're going to tell a kid not to tell the court that they don't know where their dad is, because their kid got so bad that they're willing to take their kid and say, you need to go live with your daddy, because obviously your parents ain't doing a job. And she was like, nah, they don't do that. And she caught a couple of clients doing that in the hallway. She just happened to walk up on them. And she's like, yo, this boy got on the stand and lied his butt off, talking about he don't know where his daddy at. I know he know where his daddy is. I know his daddy ain't a deadbeat. Oh, okay. Because he wanted to stay with me. They still needed that child support. So this is how it winds up playing out. So you got to watch these traps and got to see them as they come. And when you see them, realize what they are and handle them accordingly. I appreciate all y'all for watching. I said I was going to start going live, so I did. I don't know how to do it on the computer yet, so I'll have the mic and the computer set up on another time. So, there was another where a tour guide, oh, snap. Man. But y'all get out of here. All right, Taisha, have a good one. Peace.